some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Hi, folks. I'm Dan Hollifield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. With me tonight, I've got Aunt Donna. Joe Bachman is in the background, but not quite ready to come on camera yet. Thesis is in the chat. Chris Walker is in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And, howdy.
Joe, it's been so long.
I know.
And Thesis, that was a great show with Aunt Donna tonight. I'm sorry I was a little late joining in. But as I just told Aunt Donna, I had a huge supper just beforehand, and I was attacked by nap ninjas, and woke up just in time.
Did you get to see my weapons?
Some of them. I didn't get to see the axe, but I didn't get to see the first axe. I got to see the second one, the one that the fellow made the sheath for.
You missed all the blades then, because I started with my baby one and worked up to my big ones. When I cosplayed as a Viking, married to a Klingon, there was a competition going on because Klingons have many weapons hidden about their person.
Yes.
So, as a Viking, I had to have just as many weapons hidden around my person.
Makes sense to me.
I had a friend that used to try and do that, but he rattled when he walked.
Well, didn't have as much, shall I say, padding as I do.
Well, he was about Joe's size, but probably a foot and a half shorter. So about my height, but Joe's width.
We had a friend that used to cosplay as a Klingon, and he was about 4 foot high and like a little round ball. He
And
was so
most of
cute.
that was weapons, wasn't it?
No,
Uh,
that was him. Yeah, no.
oh,
Weapons made pointy stuff. He didn't have a lot of weapons.
and good show. Now to pick a day for Rich to be his guest next month. That will be entertaining. Richie is always a good guest to have in a chat. Um, if you ever wind up at a loss for words, ask him about werewolves. He'll be able to run on for hours, and it'll all be interesting. Uh, and Chris, yes. Um, what a football game! George pulls up the victory at home in Athens. Yes, indeed, it was. That is why I like the Georgia Tennessee game because it is so intense. It's everything that I like about football with almost nothing I dislike except for commercials in the coverage. Um, I was quite excited about that, and believe me, I probably passed over the pale a few times in commenting about the football game during stupid o'clock, but
I
I'm
just
just
didn't.
going. Look at them go! But that was me trying to pay attention to more than one thing at a time, which ask Lindsay does not work out too well. I need I need the laser sharp focus in order to be effective. Uh, Now I am in just a tiny smidgen of pain this evening because it was really great weather today, and I went outside and did not really a massive amount of work on the barbecue grill, but enough to where I feel like I accomplished something. Now, tomorrow I've got to get out there no matter what the temperature is because it's not supposed to rain. Supposed to. And start uh, doing more painting than construction. But I got a gallon of hunter green paint and 2 quarts of gloss black for the metalwork around the place. And I did manage to assemble a second table today. Um, only screwed up on one wooden piece.
That's good.
Well, had a 45-degree angle on one end and had a 45-degree angle on the other end. Unfortunately, I forgot to flip the board upside down so that the 45-degree angles were pointing in opposite directions.
Oops.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I said when I did it. And here's Richie. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Rich.
Hey, Rich,
Hello, folks.
you were talked about today.
In a
Okay.
good way.
No, that's not why you talk about people when they're not there. No, I'm kidding.
I can't imagine anybody having a bad word to say about Richie. Except
No, it's normally
he
separate.
keeps sending me these emails and I keep falling for it.
You're a writer. Where's your imagination?
You've obviously never met my sisters.
uh, No, I've got to force myself to get out of bed early tomorrow. You know, somewhere before the crack of noon. Uh,
Why do you feel you have to accomplish something?
I always feel like I have to accomplish something. Might not be physical work, might be mental work, might be editing, it might be HTML. I don't know, but um, if I just sit around and do nothing, I'm going, you're vegetating. This is what killed your father. Get off your ass and get something done. Uh, that may be irrational, but keeps me going.
Mhm.
Oh, going to talk about Longsword and
Joaquin.
Joachim Meyer.
Joaquin.
Joachim. Okay. Didn't know what language that was from, so I didn't know what accent to throw at it.
That's okay, Les.
In Germanic, it's probably more Joachim.
I don't have the faintest idea. I told him,
Oh,
I told Thesis if the conversation stalls to ask you about werewolves, he won't have to worry about asking another question for at least 30, 45 minutes.
45 years.
Go ahead and write the damn book, Richie. Um, you've been doing the research all your life.
Well, we've got one book that needs to get out. It's got the cover. It's got the editing. Right, Rich? Don't make me kiss you anymore.
In the immortal words of Sergeant Schultz, I know nothing.
Has it ever kept me from putting a book out? Um, what the hell?
I have been working on the front matter, so
Somebody is target practicing at damn near midnight. I'm going, do you just want to look at the glorious fireballs your little pop gun creates? Because it's basically, it can't be bigger than a 9mm.
Maybe they saw Bigfoot.
In Georgia,
You'd be surprised.
Bigfoot runs for Congress around here. Oh shit, they've got a machine gun. That's what they're doing.
Hmm.
And everything after the third shot was probably straight up in the air because of the muzzle flip. No, I had a few friends that had the federal license to own machine guns, and they let me play with them from time to time. And it basically, first shot on target, second shot a little too high, third shot way too high. After that, you're challenging the sky gods because you're not going to hit anything but clouds.
Mm.
Or a neighbor 3 counties away.
aim at the testicles. This way you're bound to hit something on the way up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's fun in short bursts, but I wouldn't actually want one myself. I prefer something a little more controllable.
Yes. Thesis. Joachim Meyer was a 16th century German cutler.
Ah,
Fire fixture and fencing master.
Touch
okay.
my touch.
Then I will probably learn a lot next time. When longsword and yeah, okay, yeah, I will probably learn a lot from
Night,
that
Chris.
particular show.
Good night, Chris.
Gesundheit.
Sorry. Normally I try and mute the mic before I do that.
No,
Sometimes they come up on you.
really, I had a sneezing fit earlier tonight, and it was like, I'm glad I'm not on a show at the moment because I would have clicked the microphone button about 7 or 8 times in a row while I was sneezing. And it'd be like rapid fire.
You know what Jeff Foxworthy say? We women know when we're going to sneeze, so we can get our little tissue, but men, it always comes as a surprise.
Mm,
And my
um,
wife's more manly than I thought. That they just nail her.
there you go, Richie. That one's for you. How does December 14th sound?
It's a bad computer. It's not what I was looking for. Um, sure.
Well, I have a very dainty sneeze, and I have been accused of trying to hold my sneezes in, and I'm like, no,
That's as loud as they get, folks.
I mean, it's the only freaking dainty thing about me. Let me have it. But yeah.
Other
My
than
buddy-
the dainty 8-pound frying pan in your hand,
But,
which
know,
has never been used for cooking anything, but
not in this house.
makes a great shield.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy Tony and I were at Chili's in Valpo one day for lunch. I had a sneeze come on, and I decided to hold it in because I sneeze quite violently. My wife calls them Klingon sneezes.
I was just thinking.
If you've seen that episode of Star Trek, you'll know what I mean. So I hold it in. And my buddy starts laughing. He goes, Jesus Christ. He goes, the look on your face, I thought your eyeball was going to shoot out and hit the fucking wall behind me. I was trying to figure out how I was going to call your wife, explain that you sneezed, stroked out, and shot an eyeball out all at the same time.
She would understand. I'm pretty sure you've been married for a little while. Now, this one is an interesting comment. Even though Nick said she already said no, I still want to try to get Amanda on.
She's pretty shy.
Yeah. Well,
If we get a few more girls' nights for crafting,
yeah.
Getting used to being in front of the camera.
yeah,
Maybe get Lindsay on there, get her used to being in front of the camera.
I was just about to say that would be a great thing because she doesn't really look at her hands while she's knitting. Now, there is no way on her laptop to do a 2-camera setup, so it'll either be what she's working on or her face. But
In her case, she would probably feel better with it on what she's working on.
exactly, yes.
And get used to her being on the camera that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thesis could even do just voice. We've proved that in the green room time and time again. People don't have to turn their camera on.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, Joe's
seriously.
camera's off half the time.
And Kiri, only about half the time,
Oh,
is
not even that much.
actually on it. On his camera is on. There are a couple of other people I can't remember at the moment that
Fox Thesis often have their avatars up instead of their camera.
yeah, Thesis and Foxy.
Mhm.
Um,
And there's some
couple,
people we wish wouldn't turn on their cameras.
hey, let's not talk about
Oh
the banana sling. Uh,
no, we just wish he
Listen.
remembered to turn it off before he got up from his computer. Because we didn't need to see it leaving and coming back.
I know it's Florida, but really, um,
It's not a whipped cream bikini.
you're
It's a banana split.
you're over 18. You don't have to have the banana hammock on. Just trunks will do.
Some people like to know their boys have a home. I mean,
At least he was wearing something.
That's true.
thank God for that.
Thankfully I was not present for said interaction.
Oh, what was
Thank you.
funny was after he left, and one of the guys said something about it, and Carl goes, "Just remember, he's got to come back."
I think it was Michaela actually that said something about it.
Probably.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes poetic justice is a thing.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Actually, one of the people I miss seeing in the green room too is Keisha and Nita.
I really miss Keisha. I really miss Keisha. Nita, she's absolutely fun,
Mm.
but Keisha is just so unique.
that's one way of putting it. I love her to death.
Oh, government send out signal. Yeah. That's
Oh,
a nice
another
little
one?
video.
I've gotten 4 of those tonight. I'm going,
Oh.
you voted for him. Quit panicking. It's too late now.
Ugh.
Ooh.
I want to tell everybody the election's over. Take both sides, all sides, everybody. Take down your damn signs. Tired of looking at them.
Oh,
See, now in our area this year, we did not have very many signs out.
Really?
The polling, like normally you see, especially for a presidential, you'll see, every other house will have one. I think driving around our town, I don't count our town manager because she's the precinct committee person for our town. But there was only 4 houses I saw any signs at, and 2 of those were actually for the Libertarian candidate for governor.
We
I
have.
thought Lake County was supposed to have theirs up within 7 days of the election.
It depends on the town.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We have.
I thought it was a county ordinance.
Might be.
We have councilman signs. We have treasurer signs. We have presidential signs. We've got this sign, that sign. And I'm like, okay, your candidate either won or lost. Doesn't matter. Get rid of your signs. You're not going to influence anybody now.
I'm actually surprised our
Around-
council doesn't do their election at the same time as presidential. Because almost every time our council runs, there's no other election, nothing else on the ballot for us at that time.
I think ours runs every couple of years, so we get it With the presidential, we get it with the other guys.
The senatorial. Yeah.
Well, you guys are a bigger town. You might actually be like they may have staggered their seats. I know there's some that'll do the at large at a different time than the regular seats, and our little town, it's all 5 seats are up for grabs each time. But
Out
last year,
here.
True, because
What?
we didn't vote on the mayor this year.
yeah, last year was the election for our town council and our clerk treasurer, and thankfully no one signed up to run against any of them because the town forgot to budget for it. And it costs our little bitty town. It costs about $4,000 for the May election, and another $4,000 to $5,000 for the November election.
Mm.
Out here, people put up signs supporting their candidate 12 years ago, and those same signs are still
Still
there.
up.
Mm.
I'm going, what, you think he's going to pull an FDR and go for a third term?
Yeah, a bunch of our
That's going to
council
take an
members have been on
amendment.
there for so long. They just keep reusing. They just go around to each house that they put up signs at and recollect the signs and save them for the next election. They don't have a. They did the smart thing. Didn't put a, elect so and so 2024 to town council. It was elect so and so Ward 3 or what ward they were, and then half of them just taped on the re-elect.
Yeah. Now, what I don't mind is somebody going, hey, my granddaughter is the valedictorian at the local high school. Go. And, things like that. But I'm going, well, I mean, seriously, political stuff is over for at least 2 years. Show your support for whatever senators that you want to, but now it's time to take the presidential election signs down before people start shooting at them.
I want them all gone.
And there they go again.
There's someone out here who bought like an old gas station or something like that on 2 heading out towards 421. Joe, you know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
So they've still got the old gas station sign thing that basically it almost works as a windmill where it's got small segments of sign, and as the wind blows, it'll actually turn it around by itself. And they've had Trump 2024 on that since 2020. Be interesting if they bother taking that down, and what they'll replace it with if they do. Because those are painted metal signs bolted up there.
Yeah. Hello, Thesis.
Hey,
Hello.
Thesis.
Let me pull everybody up a little bit larger here. Yeah, I'm just going. Do you think? I mean, after 12 years, you think you can take your sign down now? Like I said, the ones about high school students doing really, really well, that's great. Football team, that's just fine and dandy. I've gotten used to that. Even though, yes, the local team won tonight, but
Well, the bigger signs and the quote permanent signs like billboards and stuff, I can ignore those. It's those little bitty signs that to me litter along the highway.
Mhm.
It's it's over with. You're blocking my view. Get rid of those.
Yeah.
Put them in your garage or something for next time. I don't care what you do with them, but just let me see the view again.
yeah, I don't
Yeah, you
even
can't.
mind the vacation Bible school or revival meeting this month. Come on down for this church or that church or another church. Or the ones that actually are a vital service, the food banks signs for different churches when they have a uh, come on to the church and get free food from the donations or free coats for the winter or shoes for your kids, whatever. Um, those are charity, and I'm really happy about those, even though not my church, but they're doing good work, so I can't object to them.
I always find it funny because there's actually state law. You can't put political signs in the state right of way. And every year there's people that put up signs in the state right of way, and maintenance comes through, takes them down, and either takes them to, their sub, their main sub, either Gary, LaPorte, Monticello, Rensselaer, um, or they take them to the district office. And they always, when people call in, they always tell them, well, where was that? Okay, it's probably over at this building. Just go over there. You can pick it up. Just don't put it back in the state right away because we'll come back and pick it up again. And every year they'll get people, you're violating my rights. No, we're following a state law. We don't even allow the current governor's signs to be out there. And if you noticed, all your political rivals, that their signs are also missing from that same corner too. we didn't just pick and choose. We took them all.
It's not your land, therefore you can't put shit there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the state's.
Yeah, and that's what really gets me is people come up and ask us if they can post stuff up next to the road in our yard, and I go, well, sorry, Georgia DOT owns that. I don't. That's the ditch and the verge of the highway or the road. I can't keep you from doing it, but I really wish you wouldn't. And then they provide me with all these free sign stands that I can just rip their sign off of and throw in the dumpster and have these frames that I can stick in the ground for something that's actually important, like
And you never
church
know
barbecue.
you never know when you actually need one of those wire frames. They always come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know.
Because I actually, after the election was done, I talked to our precinct person, asked if she wanted any of the signs back. She goes, no. She goes, we'll just get new ones next time they all run. Okay. Ripped the signs off all those. I kept all the little wire frames for the park for us to be able to put stuff on.
Yeah, really. Recycling.
Yep.
Yep.
Let the people with a big budget buy the new wire frames.
The county got so cheap this year. For the presidential signs, they gave each precinct 10 signs. And then after that, if we wanted another sign, it was $10 a sign. So, no, we ain't gonna pay $10 a sign. Not when we can go online and look up how much they have in their budget for, running for office. They can pony up the sign if they want us to have people put it out.
You're really. Do you want it? You pay for it.
Well, and then county came back with, well, we're not getting it from them. Well, then you're dumb.
Really. You're wasting money.
Trust me, county's good at that.
Oh, yeah. Actually, around here, the only person that anybody really cares about is the fella that decides which dirt road is going to get paved this year. As far as everybody else, I mean, we've had the same sheriff for decades. We've had the same council members for decades. It's not like anybody could do anything to get rid of them because nobody ever runs against them. I'm firmly in the camp of the people that go, hey, I want to vote against all the incumbents that I can, but if nobody runs against them, unless I want to write in Daffy Duck or something, there's nothing I can do.
Well, we had to ask county last year if we still needed to hold an election since nobody ran against the council or the clerk treasurer.
It's kind of the law, but.
Well, actually, county came back and said, "Heck, they go, they're the only only 6 people on your ballot. There's nobody running against them as Democrat, Republican, Independent, alien party, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
So no, they're automatically in. They don't even technically have to come down here and cast a vote for themselves.
Yeah, basically. Unless everybody wants to write in Vermin Supreme or whoever, which does no good whatsoever. But I was glad to see the high showing that certain libertarian candidates got in the state. They weren't going for very important offices, but
that's where they need to start is the dog catcher, the lower stuff, and prove to the constituents that, hey, this is a party that's not going to just screw us over or fold or be a pretend version of XYZ. So
yeah, we've got a one tax commissioner that rides around the county like he's got nothing better to do and counts to see if you put up any additions to your house that have new windows. And if you've got extra windows that you didn't have last year, your property tax goes up. I'm going, well, that's going to put a real crimp in my plans for the back porch, but
yeah.
So what you do is you build shutters that looks like just the siding on the house, and you start putting these over your windows. So he starts coming through, and year after year, suddenly you're losing windows.
I'm an artist. I can make shutters that look like bricks.
That's what I'm saying.
Hmm. Yeah, only have open windows on the backside where you can't see them.
But hey, code enforcement comes out, walks around the house, and takes pictures.
Oh wow. Okay.
And you can't even call the cops on him because he is a
The
very
official.
minor league cop.
Um.
Speak.
It's like the game warden. I keep waiting to see their death certificate in the Bad and Busted, where he walked up on somebody and they just shot him. Um, I mean, it
Wouldn't be
is
the
the
first
South. He
time.
needed killing as a legal defense down here. Um,
Wouldn't be the first time something like that happened.
hey,
No, right after
revenuers learned that real quick in Appalachia.
I
Hey,
got out of college, couldn't find a job, and went up to our local township for some help, for some aid. And he says, "I bet you'd rather work for your money instead of just get aid." I'm like, "Okay." So he took me on, trained me in bookkeeping. Uh, his name was C.D. Green, but everybody called him Greenie. And I don't know how long he was township supervisor, but Rossville taxes did not go up during that time because he found a nice little loophole. You know how you write for grants and you have to
Yeah,
spend that whole amount, or else the next year they lower it to what you did spend the year before?
Mhm.
yeah.
He figured out if he had money left over to put it in a CD, and that counted as spending it.
Ooh,
Oh,
And
that
Damn.
is
so,
a nice loophole.
isn't it though? So the grant money stayed the same, but if they were ever short for something that they had to buy and the grant money didn't cover it, he could always cash in on CD and cover it that way.
that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. He died a few years ago, and I heard recently that yeah, Rossville's had like three tax raises in the past 10 years because nobody wanted to follow what he was doing.
Ah, no, we've had, let's see, at least one tax revolt on property taxes every year for the past 5 years. Oh,
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Jody.
that is a very rare appearance. Hello, Jody.
hey, Judy, how's it going?
Glad to see you. I'm sorry I've been missing the show, but I'm retired now and I sleep very often and unpredictably. Um,
And also, these shows have been on at about the same time as his too. This
uh,
summer.
I used to be able to watch like half of one of Jodie's shows and then have to start uh,
Stupid
either
o'clock.
Stupid O'Clock. Yeah,
Mhm.
Stupid O'Clock because he's like a sane person has already been to bed by the time Last Man Standing is due to come on. Um, oh, 6 more years before you retire. Well, don't fall down. If you do, file an accident report. That's my best advice to you, no matter where you work. Uh,
Hmm.
Carried to 73. Yeah, I don't get to retire. They're going to raise my ass as a zombie.
They
that
threatened
better
to
be
do that
some
to Uncle
good
Carl.
coffee, and no chicory in that coffee. Um, that'll just make you
Oh,
wake up pissed off.
by the time I retire, they're going to be too many more people that are going to be like, Social Security, you should work for it. I did work for it, motherfucker. I paid into that
Yeah,
shit.
Uh-huh.
I shared a thing on that just recently. Yeah, we work for that. It's not an entitlement.
Uh-huh.
No, it is an entitlement. I paid into it. I'm entitled to draw back out of it.
Well, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
really.
not a
That was a
freebie.
third of my check every year for every week for 46 years. Excuse me? If you're going to do away with it, you should have let me keep the money to start with. I could have bought more books.
You want to get rid of the waste of people getting free money and stuff like that? We're not even looking at welfare. Stop paying Congress.
Mm-hmm. I wish Congress was a deduction on my income tax. That's
Should
almost
be.
500 freeloaders that I
You
could
don't get to claim
claim.
parasites. You don't claim parasites.
That's not true. I have friends that claim their kids every year.
Hey, I got to claim ex-wives while they were still living.
Hey, related
Kids are
parasites are different.
kids are symbiotes.
No,
So
some of my
they're
friends' kids are parasites.
there's symbiosis going on because you at least get the tax write-off on them until they're 17.
Can't wait till my grandson is 18 and I don't have to worry about his biological father anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, I know all that guy wants is the kid's Social Security disability check every month. And that's predatorial.
From what you've said of the individual, I can't even bring myself to say gentleman. The individual, I'd be surprised if he doesn't work himself out of the equation in the near future. And of course, I'm talking IT near future, which that could be 5 months or 53 years. But
he almost has already several times. It's just evidently somebody else has plans in the works, and I'm not on familiar terms with that particular deity. So maybe he's useful as an example to somebody. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm really, really tired of wishing I had a machine gun every time I had to supervise a visitation in order to keep the kid from being kidnapped. There's nothing I can put in the reports. It's just I can see facial expressions. And I know the personality involved. This is a predator who is really upset about not getting their way. And the kid is suffering psychological damage from having to go to these visitations. And so far, the kid's doctors have not backed up my diagnosis. When that happens, a judge might be able to do something, but right now state law and everybody's hands are tied. What you got there,
Mhm.
Joe Bachman? Uh,
Something for Richie to print.
a clown dartboard.
Not just a clown.
It's Pennywise.
That would get me killed.
Richie.
That
Foxy
that
is
would get me
terrified.
that would get me divorced real quick for shooting holes in the wall.
Foxy's
Oh,
terrified of clowns, so anything like that would get me killed.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me pull this one up real quick.
Thesis, have you heard about the scariest moment of my life?
No, probably
I
not.
love this story.
I don't
Okay.
want to.
They
Yeah,
had a cartoon one.
So
Oh no.
years ago, I was working in a factory, and I worked midnights, and I came home sick. House I grew up in, so I knew the entire place like the back of my hand. I didn't have to turn a light on. I knew exactly where everything was. I knew where the creaky steps were to avoid, so I didn't wake up my parents and stuff like that. So come home, get upstairs, go to turn on the TV, and this is a 1980s console TV where the picture took about 5 minutes to come up, but the sound came up after about 30 seconds or so. So turned the TV on and turned around and started walking down the hall. Again, pitch black, because I know exactly where the bathroom is, because again, I've grown up here.
Mhm.
I get about halfway to the bathroom, and all of a sudden, out of the pitch blackness, I hear, Richie! I needed to clean the carpet. And, of course, the picture hadn't come up yet. And I'm like, what the? And I honestly soiled myself and soiled the carpet. I'm not kidding when I say I actually had to clean the carpet. As I'm turning on the lights and trying to figure out what the hell's going on and getting stuff to try to clean everything up, including myself, finally the picture comes up. It was HBO, and they were running the 1980s, 1990s It with Tim Curry as Pennywise, Harry Anderson as Richard Dozier, John Ritter as Ben Haskins, and Annette O'Toole as the adult Beverly Marsh, and of course John Boy as the adult Bill Denbrough, and Venus Flytrap, and Tim.
Oh,
Oh, I can't
yeah.
remember his last name. I know who you're talking about.
I think it begins with an R.
Reed.
I was wondering if it was Reed, but I was wondering if I was just thinking Reed because that is my sister's late husband's name was Tim Reed. But anyways, it's the movie It, responsible for the scariest moment in my entire life.
I'm
A couple years earlier. My apologies. A couple years later. I'm not feeling well. I've got migraines. I can't drive myself to the doctor because I can't see to drive. So my sister Sheila takes me to the doctor. We find out I've got migraines, and they start prescribing me stuff for my migraines. And we get home. We're at the downstairs TV. Same kind of thing happens, where we turn on the TV and we're sitting there talking. And while we're sitting there talking, all of a sudden I hear, "Hey, Richard." Looking around. I'm like, that's weird. And why are they calling me Richard? I only hear that when I'm in trouble. All of a sudden, and it's cold enough out that I was actually wearing a coat, so I'm in the middle of taking my coat off, and I hear "fat guy in a little coat." Now, for the record, I'd never seen the movie Tommy Boy before, and I'm like, "Who the fuck is in here?" And then, as I'm screaming that, all of a sudden, TV comes up, and Chris Farley is in David Spade's coat and rips it. And I'm like, son of a bitch. It happened again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Scariest moments of my life involve TVs where the picture did not come up nearly as fast as the sound did. And just perfect timing that the first sounds out of the TV dealt with my name.
Yeah.
I will tell you something almost as bad. My parents had one of those console TVs. Great stereo. You could crank that sucker up and people could hear it for half a mile around. One day, the picture tube stopped working. That did not keep my brother and sister from wanting to watch reruns of Gilligan's Island. So they're sitting there staring at a black screen with the audio for Gilligan's Island episodes playing. And they would go through, let's see, there were two on one channel and one on another. They'd go through 3 episodes in a single afternoon and then switch over to PBS and, in this case, listen to Sesame Street and the Electric Company and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And I'm going, well, PBS, not bad. I'm not going to object to any of that because I remember when PBS got started and Sesame Street's first episode I was able to see because I had basically broken some bones in my foot trying to leap off of bleachers in the school gym onto a tumbling mat. Unfortunately,
And what was her name?
no. Unfortunately, the top of my foot hit the one collapsible bleacher that did not get collapsed. And the rest of my body hit the tumbling mat and suffered no damage, but I broke a bone in my foot. That was my left foot. My right foot, when I broke a bone in my right foot, that was because I signaled my dad he was about to destroy the hydraulic lift arm on the tractor trying to hook up something. And he pulled forward and a slightly heavy disc harrow ran over my other foot.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, now connect that back to your TV story.
Yes.
We sat there.
They all lived happily ever after the end.
We sat there day after day after day after school watching a blank screen. They were watching a blank screen. I was smart enough to have a book. But they were listening to reruns of Gilligan's Island that they'd already seen several million times. Enough for any of the three of us to be able to throw some snarky comments at it if they were so inclined. But finally, Dad went and got another picture tube for the TV and basically just unplugged the great big tube, plugged the other one in, and they were able to watch Gilligan's Island in full living color on, I don't know, what was it, 18-inch, 24-inch color TV.
That was back when you could actually fix a TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My little brother once took a magnet and stuck it to the TV screen.
Mm.
And it caused a halo around the magnet because he had magnetized that area of the TV screen. And the ion gun that makes the pictures thought, hey, we got a good target here. So there was this 2-inch diameter halo of multicolored light off to one side of the TV screen. I don't know how long my parents put up with that, probably about a month. And then Dad brought home something called a ring magnet and plugged it in, turned the TV on, and totally removed any traces of my little brother's magnet being stuck to the TV screen. Demagnetized the outer surface of the cathode ray tube, in other words. And I'm going, if I had known you could do that, I would have made one of them damn things out of a drop cord and whatever it takes. Good Lord. Because it was so annoying. And, yeah. My family used to make fun of me because I'd sit there and I'd be reading a book while they were watching TV. And I'd look up at strategic moments because even then I knew what writer logic was, what script logic was. So I knew when I heard the music score, I knew there was something important coming up. I would look up from the book and go, oh, wow, yeah, that's interesting, and then go back to the book. Of course, they also made fun of the fact that I had a book in the dump truck, a book in the pickup truck, a book in 4 rooms of the house that I just, put it down, go to whatever the other room was, pick up the other book and pick that one up and start where I left off over and over and over again. Because I had a small library back then. It was interesting that they would kind of make fun of me a little bit because I was able to multitask.
I just want to see a TV series or a movie that completely just destroys that whole music score thing.
It can be done.
The intense music at just boring ass points and.
Well, Dark Shadows used to do kind of the inverse. They had exciting music playing when nothing worth watching was going on.
So if people aren't paying attention and they're just paying attention to the film score, they'll look up and be like, well, what the hell? They're just making breakfast. Why does it sound like the killer's about to approach?
Because cholesterol is the silent killer.
Just cooking eggs.
Well,
Oh, look,
there
I got
was
a heart
there
attack.
was there was one time when my mom had bought these touch lamps that you didn't have to reach up and flip a switch. You just touch the base of the lamp and it would come on. And I was asked to turn the lamp off so that it didn't reflect on the TV screen. And I reached up and being a typical teenager, clumsy as all get out, I knocked the lamp off the table.
Oh, oh shit.
Here's the part that's worth retelling. It twirled around my hand like a baton. I caught it and set it back up on the table and then touched it with my other hand to turn it off. I'm going, I'll never be able to do that again in my life.
Mhm.
That was my only nat 20 that I will ever roll.
My mom had bought several of those lamps, and it wasn't long until she learned to hate them with a passion because she could not touch them without getting shocked.
Mm-hmm.
So she couldn't turn
Yeah.
them on or off. So she would make us come downstairs and turn the lamp on and off for her. Years later, they ended up with 2 min pins. And the reason why I like min pins because they eventually ended up getting some min pins, and the min pins like to wrestle a lot more than full sized Doberman did. I found that weird. Um, but Prancer, the first one that they'd got, would sleep in bed with mom and dad, and when he wanted to go out, he would climb over my mom's pillow, taking care not to step on my mom's face, and then touch her nose to the lamp to turn it on
Oh,
to
oh.
wake mom up.
That is a learning experience
Oh,
right there. Oh,
And
and
if
thank you
mom
for
didn't wake
joining us.
up,
Thank you
oh,
for joining us, Rob. Inferno by Argentino has the most exciting scene you've ever seen of a guy crawling through a crawl space because of some incredible music. Yeah, uh, sometimes the score makes the movie. It could be a really bad movie, but have a really good score. It's kind of like um, hiring the right um,
ooh,
musical
Shatree
director for
bed.
yeah, hiring the right musical director can be just about as important as hiring Vincent Price for a cheesy black and white movie. Because no matter how bad the script is, Vincent Price is going to save it from mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I never did get any of those touch lamps because I had a Siamese cat that was afraid of the dark. Yes, a cat afraid of the dark. We did, however, remember the clapper?
Mm-hmm.
oh
mhm.
God,
She learned that if she meowed at a certain pitch, she could turn that damn clapper on.
mm,
And
Excellent.
at 3 o'clock in the morning, when the house was too dark for her, because, like I say, she was afraid of the dark, she'd meow and turn on that damn lamp.
If
Uh,
mom didn't
yeah.
wake up because of the dog turning on the lamp with her nose, the dog would then just sit on mom's head.
Wake up!
And Rob said the soundtrack to Inferno was scored by Keith Emerson, and I'm going, that's not bad. Keith Emerson has done some incredible stuff during his lifetime. Um, keyboard player for Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
That's what I was wondering. Because I'm like, is that the Emerson from Emerson, Lake and Palmer?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. He's done some incredible soundtracks. Tangerine Dream has done some incredible soundtracks. And you wouldn't
Yeah.
think that a German synthesizer band would be asked to do soundtracks for movies, but they have.
I enjoy Danny Elfman.
Yes, Danny Elfman is right on up there with John Williams in my book. Being able to write really effective movie scores that capture the essence of the films. They're totally different directions, of course, but that's the way film
Along with
soundtracks
complete
work.
bangers like, it's a dead man's party.
unlike unlike Man from U.N.C.L.E., whose musical scores were children's nursery rhymes. You don't remember that?
I do.
Yeah. It wasn't until I was an adult and was watching them again, because I have the whole collection, and going, that's a nursery rhyme. That's Pop Goes the Weasel. That's
Yeah, but it turned out to be an integral part of the plot.
it fit in somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and if you ever want to hear what John Williams sounded like before he got really, really big, watch Lost in Space. He did all the soundtracks for that. And the third season theme song, the opening credits song, that's a banger right there. Especially if you've ever been in a marching band, you go, "Oh, I'd like for us to play that," but no, we got to play 25 or 6 to 4 again. Yeah, well, Chicago was a good band for that era for music for marching bands, but
Were they Chicago yet, or were they still the Chicago Transit Authority at that point in time?
it was Chicago.
Yeah.
Third season Lost in Space theme. All-time favorite piece of sci-fi music. And actually, Williams was young enough to go by Johnny instead of John in the credits. And I'm going, my, how times have changed. You get all the way up to Star Wars, and all of a sudden you get uppity. It's like me trying to be an adult. Can you imagine that?
We still don't call you Danny.
Well,
No,
it's
my family
not
does.
it's not like some other 40 or 50 something man child still going by Johnny.
I have a cousin who's my age and
I've
still
seen
goes by Johnny.
WKRP.
I'm talking about a specific Johnny.
Oh, well.
Yes. Yes.
Still,
I know several individuals who are in their 60s and 70s that go by Johnny. It's no big deal, but yeah, it's there's that one man child.
I shouldn't be cruel. I want to be, but I shouldn't. But let's just gloss over that and move along, shall we?
On other news, oh, I told Misty I would do this, and she didn't believe me I would, so I'm going to have to. I have to tell on her. After the movie today, she wanted some butt stuff. Of course, the butt stuff she was talking about was the heated seats in the car, but she's like, yeah, how do I get to the butt stuff? I just kind of looked at her, I'm like, well, it is an SUV. It is big enough. That's not what I meant. That's what I heard.
Oh, God.
We can go by the liquor store if you want to, baby. No. And here, Rob's picking on me. Question for the whole panel, Danny. Favorite theme song from a movie? I'm actually quite fond of the theremin sequences from Day the Earth Stood Still and Thing from Another World. And Forbidden Planet. I think Forbidden Planet is still one of my favorite soundtracks.
Love
Even
Before Time
though-
from Crouching Tiger.
There you go.
It's a good song, especially in Mandarin.
And I'm going to go far afield from you guys and say theme from White Knights. What is it called? Phil Collins sang it. Separate Lives.
Okay, yeah. I remember that. Joe, you got a favorite theme song from a movie?
So I've always liked the song from Beverly Hills Cop.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Axel F.
Axel F, yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
but I also like instrumentals a lot. So
Well, that explains why you keep downloading my music. I don't ruin it with lyrics.
I've also been listening to your music for the last 2 hours because I have my stream up on the other screen.
Mm-hmm.
You poor fellow.
I know, because I keep having to listen to my own damn voice announcing the next track. I need someone else to do the voiceover.
Well, I've never thought about re-recording them with me going, "Hey, and here's the title of this one."
So
It really,
what I actually did with your music was load it into Audacity, and I'd load a track in. I record the name of the track, what album it was from, load the track, record the name of the album, next one, load the track. I did that for about, I think I have like 8 hours worth of your music on there.
you're a glutton for punishment, my friend.
Oh, the software almost shit the bed trying to export that monstrosity. And then I had to figure out, I had to try and get it to upload to OneDrive so that I could then download it on the Mac and load it into OBS.
Because StreamYard would never be able to hold anything that big.
No.
No, I think the final file size was like just over 3 gigs.
I had a lot of trouble even trying to get one song uploaded to StreamYard. Um,
Of your music?
yeah. Watching paint dry. Joe Dog just absolutely loves it. So I put it up on Stupid O'Clock. And it took forever. And I think it took like 4 tries to get it to actually complete and upload. And then it was reprocessed. And I go, yeah, sound quality suffered from StreamYard's processing, but it's there if Joe Dog wants to use it.
I say
Um,
there's only been 2 tracks of yours that StreamYard just went, no, we're not doing this.
Mm-hmm.
One is the bonus track from Displaced
Displaced
Detective.
detective. Yep.
well, that's 18 minutes long.
Right. And then there was one on the 10,000 Airships suite that wouldn't upload. But I could probably throw that on Audacity and try and get it to compress a little bit, because it was just over the 100 meg limit.
Yeah, that was probably something where I was using 40 or 50 instruments to compose the piece. So it got really complicated in the file.
Yeah.
That's where I learned that I do quite well with a mixture of a rock band and a full orchestra, but I do tend to go really overboard on as many different layers of music as I possibly can.
Hmm.
I think I had to get a whole new version of uh, Music Maker to do some of that because I just got beyond the limits of
Stop
the
it, Joey.
previous version that I had.
If you like instrumentals, if you haven't, I highly suggest getting on like Amazon or wherever your preferred music downloading site. Look up the String Quartet tribute album from the Vitamin String Quartet,
Mm,
especially the String Quartet tribute to Evanescence.
Hmm.
That is damn. I have
I
that album.
know.
Holy hell.
Oh, have you ever heard or seen the video of Yoko Kanno and the Seatbelts doing the music from Cowboy Bebop?
Nope.
I mean, seriously, they're standing there on stage doing this stuff live, and it impresses the crap out of me.
All right.
Probably didn't say the names right, but it's all Japanese to me. Uh, I probably wouldn't have been able to do any better if it were Greek. Um, although I have learned that somebody hands me a bottle of wine, I can read an Italian wine label and it actually sound like I'm using the correct dialect and everything. And I'm just reading it phonetically, folks. Um, there was a bottle of Italian red wine that we brought back from Hallowcon, and somebody handed it to me, and I'm going, yeah, that's an interesting label, and I read it off, and people go, you speak Italian? I go, no, but apparently I can read it really well. I don't speak German either, but I can puzzle it out. Especially if it's just conversational. Although the Tom Darby prequel, I did have to go through getting translations of Russian and German and a couple other languages in order to make it look like Tom was able to speak a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Although he did say he was rusty. So, yeah. Not as good as he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But, hey. You can do things like that. And now when it comes to the Spaceport Bar stories, there's stuff in there that I'm going, I don't have the faintest idea. I know what it means. I hear it pronounced in my head. How do I spell that phonetically so the readers can get the gist of what it's supposed to be?
Mm.
I mean, how the hell do you have a ship's computer tell a giant radioactive scorpion that his mother mates out of season with houseplants? The computer was being a smartass.
Carl's happy because he can say, we can wash ourselves in German. Wir können uns waschen. I'm like, yeah, that's going to come in handy.
When I took German in high school, the most important phrase that we decided we needed to learn is "Ist deine Tochter auch sein, bitte?" Is your daughter 18, please?
Well, the other important phrase that he learned is eine Bier.
Ich möchte eine Bier.
Really, no. The most important phrase in any language is, where's the toilet?
Yes, and do call it a toilet in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Those did they say?
Yeah. Do not call it the restroom.
Yes, I am a Steve Martin
Smartass.
fan.
Oh.
Well, that too. Oh.
Yep. Where is the water closet?
Don't open it or flood the house.
Because if you ask for a toilet in Germany, they will show you to a sink for you to wash your hands.
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't remember much from my 3 years of German in high school, but I do remember the one girl who approached the teacher and was like, I'm having trouble with pronunciation. And the teacher just went, all you have to do, speak German, is be angry. Just be angry.
Not exactly wrong.
No lie detected.
It worked too.
We would get extra credit. We would get extra credit if we went to the auto show and with our German teacher and talked to the German automakers. One girl was asking about the Schweinwerfers on the car. And of course, the Mercedes spokesperson's like, bitte? And tried multiple times to get her to explain what the hell she was saying. Then finally he's like, auf English. And, she's trying to talk about headlights, which would be Scheinwerfers, light throwers. So what she was asking about is if the Mercedes was equipped with pig throwers.
That comes in handy in the States.
There you go. Yeah, we need one of those.
Really?
Well, our class.
That's why we sell those aftermarket cow catchers for pickup trucks out in the country.
Our class
Try and keep
had
the deer from crushing your radiator.
Our class had an extra credit day once a month where people could bring in, whatever cakes, and we would watch movies and people would sing songs and shit. That's how I found Black Forest cake, because I brought that in one night, and that was a pretty big hit with most of the people in the class. But
In München steht ein Hofbräuhaus, ein, zwei, Sofa.
we watched The Never Ending Story in German. That was odd.
Well, if you know something already in your native language, and then you watch a translation of it without the subtitles, you can, if the dubbing is done with some kind of quality and attention to detail, you can actually pick up a lot of stuff.
I hate dubbed movies, but we also watch The Sound of Music. So that was,
Das Boot, The Longest Day, and Nosferatu were big ones. And then also, is it Escape from Stalag 17 with Steve McQueen?
Yeah, I think so.
Or The Great Escape. That might be it.
Yeah, Great Escape. Steve McQueen on the motorcycle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'd watch that like every year as well. Got Herr Rosenbaum to teach me how to say "and the horse you rode in on." And he's like, let me get back to you after class, and I'll figure it out. And so just before the bell rang, he handed me the piece of paper that said "Und das werden die Fighter." So I'm like, okay, so it's wichtig und das werden die Fighter. Richard! I'm like, you had to know where I was going with this, Rose.
Oh yeah.
My French tutor in college. She was from France. Obviously, whoever taught her from English was from Portugal, because she sounded German. I mean,
yeah. Around here, all we had was Spanish, of course.
Well, imagine a lady teaching you how to talk French, and then when she finally talks English, she sounds like something from a Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon. Hey, get the moose and squirrel.
Moose and squirrel.
I had a Russian cardiologist, the first cardiologist I had. And as I was leaving, he's like, "You're strong like moose." And I tried so hard. I succeeded, but it took so much effort to not add "und squirrel" out loud.
Und fast like squirrel. Oh my God, that's mixing dialects like nobody's business. I shouldn't even say things like that. I'm not multilingual. I speak English, Appalachian, redneck, and dumbass. That's about all I can get.
But
Well,
hey,
smartass. So
that's
that's 5.
that's multilingual. You
Hey,
can't say that you're not, and then pop off with several languages that you speak.
the hell is an unt anyway? Sorry.
Whatever you make of it. Um,
Sorry.
um,
Rocky Horror Lines.
no, I'm sorry. I was thinking of there was a band that had that in their intro to a song. Um,
It's a you don't want to see.
I think it was uh, the song was "Pretty Fly for a White Guy." So if you want to look that up, you can pick up where they stole that particular opening riff from whatever rock band it was. Um, one of the I don't know if it was a heavy metal band or a big hair band. It was that era. It was really hard to tell. Um, Soundtrack artists. I wish more folks would hire Alice Cooper to write soundtracks. Enormously talented man, can do love songs, um, horror themes, um, nostalgia, noir. I've yet to find a limit to his talents, and I've been listening to him since the 70s. But, that would be great to have a movie with an Alice Cooper soundtrack, and I don't mean just the Dark Shadows remake with what's his name in a bad hairdo. Um,
The Johnny Depp remake.
I probably uh, I like Johnny Depp, but that was an, that was not in period. Um, Reminded me a lot of a line from um, one of the parody sort of books that I read about science fiction conventions, where a cross between uh, Robert Heinlein and Harlan Ellison, with heavy on the Ellison flavor, got murdered because he was a sarcastic asshole in his manuscripts, and his publisher knew to remove the last chapter of every book because that was where the really non-safe for work content was concentrated, and basically when that particular writer character was confronted by his soon-to-be murderer, all he could say is, "Sir, that is an out-of-period weapon." I'm going, yeah, somebody's been to some damn creative anachronist meetings before. Um, and in the same book, Um, that particular writer was the judge of the costume contest, and the winner was whoever wore a wedding gown and pretended to be Galadriel and showed the most cleavage, rather than whoever had the most creative costume. And it's just going, dull, 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 tits, dull, 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 dull. Got my winner. Hey.
That's not life imitating art at all.
No.
Nope.
What was her name? What is her name? I'm forgetting. She writes very, very excellent murder mysteries. These are just a couple of things, a couple of books she has written on the side that's not connected to the work that she's most proud of. Let's see. Bimbos of the Death Star, or Bimbos of the Death Sun, and Zombies of the Gene Pool. Although Zombies of the Gene Pool was a little bit more serious. They were both murder mysteries. They were both set at either sci-fi conventions or a sci-fi writers not a convention, but a reunion sort of thing. But
So not Jessica Fletcher.
Oh no. She's written all kinds of things. I think it's Sharon McCrum. Let me look that up.
Feel free to move about the cabin, folks.
Sharon McCrum. Yes, I did remember correctly. Yeah, the hero is a science professor named Jay, and he's got his English professor girlfriend, and she's usually going, "You really want to do this? Okay, let's do this." And it's just 2 books out of everything she's written. She's written a lot of Appalachian mysteries and historicals and things like that are just. There's one called Rosewood Casket that just absolutely enthralls me. And there's practically no action whatsoever. It's just one of those things that's like, if you were to condense one of those huge 3-inch thick multi-generational novels that were really popular in the 60s into 300 pages and keep it on point the entire time. She's incredible. She is incredible. I wish I was able to have that kind of focus on things, but my writing style is completely different. It has to be extraordinarily random and wild and right on out there. Thankfully, I've never been accused of getting AI to write one of my stories. Because Believe me, my shit's too complicated for AI to keep track of. Um, I remember plot twist from 35,000 words ago. Okay. Um, plus, I've got a bad habit of going, I'm bored. Let's introduce a new alien race. Um, let's just shift gears. Let's shift this paradigm without a clutch. Um, might grind a little bit at first, but it'll smooth out. Enough grease and it'll work. Yes, that's what she said.
Didn't say a word. Didn't imply
Yeah, but you
anything.
thought it really hard.
Richie's expression said everything. Half the time, I think Richie lives in the back of my head, and he's going, I don't
Say
know
this.
whether to be amused or frightened.
I think her brain's just at the joining doors.
That's bad enough.
So say the innocent bystanders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how innocent we are, but
Hey,
Hey.
speak for yourself.
Everybody here but Donna has used my writing prompts to come up with a story. So I know you've been living inside my head.
I don't do sci-fi.
I know. But the one that you sent me was very excellent sci-fi.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it was.
And ironically enough, Luck of the Irish is a little bit sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Sci-fi fantasy, one might say.
Well, that's not a bad combination. I kind of like those a lot. Although
Available in
given
ebook.
already,
Mm-hmm.
I thought you weren't. I thought it wasn't even finished being laid out yet. All
Oh,
right.
no, it's ready.
Oh, good.
I'm waiting for my proof copy, which is already sold because my best friend won't wait until I order other books. I have to give her my proof copy.
Well, you're gonna have to let me know because I'm gonna have to go to Lulu and go. I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and
I've been talking to my publisher. I told him he needs to make all of them available as ebooks.
I have not been able to get the time to read the physical copy of Rob Sterling's book. I've got about halfway through it. It's just I don't have time to sit down with an actual book. Although I used to be able to, in the same situation now where I take my Kindle. I don't have an excuse. I'm not trying to make excuses.
Mm-hmm.
I should just take the paperback with me and go, I've got bookmarks. My youngest stepdaughter hand draws the most beautiful bookmarks. I mean, seriously. She puts as much work into a bookmark as some Renaissance artists put into a full painting. And they're glorious.
Let's see what Rob told you.
What? One of my many groupies. I need names. I need phone numbers. I need addresses. Uh,
Measurements.
no, I don't care about measurements. They're just going to read to me. I don't care what they measure out to. Long as they've got long as they got a voice I can listen to. Uh, oh, who was it that I met uh, through Nick Talkert? I'm going, oh my God, you and I should do voice acting together. I'd love to work with your voice.
Miss
Oh, would
Aaron?
that be Miss Aaron?
Might have been. And actually, Foxy would be very good as
Mm-hmm.
a voice artist as well.
Well, Foxy would be very good reading some of my books.
If you could keep her on target long enough and from blushing long enough.
I mean, she can blush all she wants as long as she keeps reading.
Yeah. Blusher's not going to show up in that recording.
Nope.
Hey, we can fix that in editing.
She was blushing like crazy when we recorded Carl's happy birthday song yesterday, but no one knows till now.
Oh. And Rob, I am gratified that you have stuck around this long. I mean, seriously.
Just a glutton for punishment.
Hey, I wait all day every Friday for him to upload a new video. And even if it means I'm going to be late to go in the green room, I will watch Rob's video first because they're that much fun. I mean, seriously. I just love his work. I love his level of knowledge about the ins and outs of the kind of films that I grew up with, kind of like shock theater or could have been MST3K, but never were. Yeah, it's it. I'd love to get Rob and Skunk together and talk movies. Although Skunk's more of a slasher horror movie fan, and Rob is more of a um, sci-fi fantasy movie fan, but both from the same classical era. Uh, I'd just love to be sitting there listening. I wouldn't have a damn thing I could say because it's not my area of expertise. But
Oh, when has that ever stopped you?
when I'm being respectful, which is rare. Uh,
Which is why we love you.
oh,
And you can too for $39.95.
oh, oh,
Oh, Rich, I've got a new one for you. You know your $20 is $20. I just read a joke which kept repeating $50 is $50.
mm.
Inflation.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what kept me at work the last few years was 50 grand is 50 grand. Uh, but, 46 years in seniority, I had built myself up to quite a few raises by then.
Or as my older brother would put it, 50 grand. 50 is 50.
What can I get for $20? I wouldn't even give you a penguin for $20. Well, what can I get for $20? I wouldn't even give you a penguin for $20. Well, what can I get for $20? You know what? I'll give you the best damn penguin you ever had in your entire life. Wait, come back.
What's a penguin?
Sorry.
Yeah, but the rabbit hole costs extra.
Oh, what
Last
am I
man
doing?
standing is last man standing. Know what I mean? You've met Dawn. Okay.
Yeah.
5-minute warning there, Dan. Also, just
Oh yeah.
You
Let me see here. Oh, it's not the same without Dawn and her sock. Which about the time I clicked the button, I realized that was a really weird thing to say.
the important part is you realize that, though.
Well,
But the question is, if she had her sweet drizzle that night, does that make it a crusty sock?
Oh my.
one would hope not.
I
That
will
one's
neither
being
confirm nor deny.
That one's being repeated next Friday.
Yeah. All right, folks. If you want to find our work, go to ndcd.org. You can look all of us up there. Rob, I really recommend that you think about joining right now while there's a sale on.
I was going to say, especially right now.
$30 for a lifetime commitment. And if you use the secret code podcast1, it's only 15.
Yep.
And Joe Bachman takes care of all of the updates as long as you get them to him in a timely manner.
Yep.
And you are patient with internet
And
problems.
yeah,
Patient with internet and my work schedule.
with that lifetime commitment, if you jack your price up to $60, he won't wear the wedding dress.
That's what you think.
Hey, if Trey tells him to put the damn wedding dress on, he's going to wear the dress. All right?
That was supposed to be the carrot, not the stick.
Oh. Depending on how I wear the dress, you might see the stick, you might not.
Yeah.
It might not. It might be apparent even if it's not visible.
Yeah, go ahead and get that image out of your head, Rich.
No, I was just thinking a wedding dress is 6 inches of fabric, but you're only talking about 2 inches of
spring.
Hey, it's hard to get something 2 inches long out of six inches of fabric. Trust me, I used to be a snowplow driver. And with that negative 20 degree wind chill, turned into 1 inch real damn quick.
So, remember, gentlemen, we are in the Arctic.
Yeah.
We are. Shrinkage is a thing.
That is my favorite X-Files quote ever.
I forgot about that, yes.
I've heard the quote before. I couldn't think where it was from.
Oh.
Yeah, that holds very true when you're standing on the side of the interstate in between your hydraulic box and the bed of the truck, checking for a hydraulic leak.
That's why you stand near the muffler where it's warm.
Joe, you're not supposed to take your robotic girlfriend on the plow jobs. That's not what they mean by plowing the town.
It's
Hey, free
not.
hydraulic fluid.
Oh,
Well, if his girlfriend's leaking hydraulic fluid, it really needs to be fixed.
Mhm.
hey.
Or is that her time of the month?
Get out of my head.
Quarter.
Get out
Who
of my
knows?
head.
It's time to say goodnight, Gracie.
That's
Yes,
only when
I
you
know.
leave us behind.
Rob,
Good night, folks.
even after this debacle here in the last 5 minutes, go ahead and get in touch with Joe Bachman at ndc.org and join our merry band of insane perverts and get your work out there. I've read half your book already. I know your work is worth everybody else reading it. I will not stop singing your praises.
If you do that when she is leaking hydraulic fluid, does that mean she's going to have a motherboard?
And on that note,
Just
I think it's time for a bedtime story.
good night, Gracie.
Oh, God, I'm not even drinking.
not everyone.
Night, folks.
Good God, when you are drinking, I hesitate to think. Well, I hesitate to think most days, but
Transmission overload. System will shut down. 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 System will shut down.
Hello, I'm Dan Hollifield. I'm the senior editor and publisher of Aphelion Webzine, the world's oldest free creative writing e-zine since 1997. Since then, we have helped over 500 amateur writers learn what they needed to turn pro. www.aphelion-webzine.com and read not only what we've got going on right now, but 28 years worth of our archives of stories. Thank you very much.